Good morning. Good morning, Warriors. Today is May 16th, 2022. And welcome to all the Warriors out there. This is Vigor Warriors 2. And hope you guys had a nice weekend. And thank you for all the comments, the subscriptions, the likes, the donations. It is all greatly appreciated. We want to continue moving ahead with our purpose and plan. Hope you guys are on your plan as well. I think I'm at like 705 or something like that now. Maybe it's 710. I think it's 710. And moving towards our goal of 750 next. And moving ahead day by day. Little temptations here and there, but besides that, everything is good. And you just have to kind of keep blocking things out to the point where you're focusing on the goals you want to achieve, whether it's night or during the day. So thank you for a lot of the great comments I've had over the weekend. I will get to them all and try to kind of put some stuff together. I have a backlog now, which is a good thing, of topics and ideas to talk about. So we're going to try to kind of get through those over the next few weeks and kind of move ahead with things and ideas that you guys want to talk about and questions you have. So thanks out there to Dex and a lot of other people who are sending stuff in 5D and things like that. And I appreciate all your great comments. I'm glad this stuff is helping you guys. So today's topic is you should let things go. Why should we let things go? And how does it apply to what we're talking about when it comes to our journey? So, letting things go. So what do I mean by letting things go? Well, we all have a memory. And this is something I'm going to get to in the next couple videos here. We all have two things that kind of can help us or hurt us as a human being. The first thing is your memory of the past. Remember, we talk about living in the present moment, right? But we do have a memory of the past. And the past memory can help us, or it can, in this situation, hurt us, because we're thinking about all those pictures and all those women and men that we've met over the years. And so that image stays with us. Those people are not around us anymore. And they may have never been if it's a picture, right? Or a photograph of some sort. But it's something that we remember. That is something that we can create in our minds. And this is how we get into temptation. Because now we're fostering that idea of going back to look at that memory. And eventually what ends up happening is it can lead you then to temptation and to losing your energy at this point. And so when you look at all that, that's where the key is when it comes to your past stuff. So memory is one thing. And when it comes to what we're talking about, letting things go means you cannot be grabbing onto those things when you start thinking about those things. So this is going to be more of a practical one that we're talking about today. The bottom line really is that, once again, the birds can be flying over your head, but you can't let them nest in your head, in your hair. And what that means is that you're basically having to, you have past memories. And sometimes things are triggered. You see a beautiful girl walking down the street, you might be triggered to somebody else you remember. Or a song, or some kind of event, or something happens and you're triggered. You have to, at this point, think to yourself, okay, what am I going to do? I am now thinking about this person. Now, I know it's not as easy as it sounds like this, and obviously it took me 45 years to recognize this. So I'm kind of just giving it to you as more on just some basic information and ideas of what happened to me. But when you're focusing on this, what you're doing is you're looking to see if you could try to move that memory and push it out. And this is what I mean by letting it go. You have to try to let it go. Now, it may still be somewhere in the depths of your back of your brain and your mind. That's going to happen. But the idea is that you want to go ahead and focus on putting something else there instead of that, thinking about that. And I think sometimes people don't realize that they have some level of control over their thoughts. Now, this is a basic assumption that makes a big difference, because if you don't believe that you have any control over your thoughts, you're not going to try to move away and let things go. Now, this also applies to anger. Yesterday I got angry and I shouldn't have, so I made a mistake myself with someone, and it's something that I have to learn how to control better, and those type of things. And by the way, someone had asked me for to put on my wife and kids and everything like that. I may do that at some point here soon. I just do these so early in the morning that everybody is sleeping, and I don't get a chance to really kind of think about doing that. But yeah, I should do that as well. I think it's a good idea to kind of, if you guys are that interested, and I can kind of show you my family and things like that. But the thing is that going back to our point here, we're looking at trying to control your mind to whatever extent you can. Now, God is in total control. So, your mind is just kind of something that you're using, that He's allowing you to use in a sense. But I have found that you can have some level of control, at least directing your thoughts away from that person. And I think what we go back to is your basic philosophy. My basic philosophy is that God gives us all the tools, but we have to make the choice whether to use the tools or not. And I think your mind, your brain is one of those tools. And so when you have a situation where someone is basically entering your mind into a thought or idea or a picture, things like that, you can control that. I believe you can. And so it happened last night where you get a thought pattern of something, and all of a sudden now you have to decide, am I entertain this thought, bring it in, or am I going to just kind of block it out and just kind of move to something else? And I think, once again, if you have your goals set and things that you want to do, then it's not as difficult over time to do this. Now, it is difficult early on, and it's been difficult for many, many years for me to stay on a pattern of this. But I did not have as much strength because I wasn't retaining as I do now. And I feel stronger in doing this because I can do this better now than I would have many, many years ago. So the thing is that as you're looking at trying to retain control, it's a matter of becoming stronger and stronger in yourself. And now, if you're strong enough, you're going to be able to say, okay, I don't want to move in this direction in my thinking. I know this is not good. And so let's go ahead and move into a different direction. And so let's go back to our goals. And that's why I always have those as kind of like a defunctory type of thing, in which if I go to thinking about something, my pattern is always going to go back to my goals. And my three major goals are focusing on finances, spirituality, relationship with Jesus, and physical. So that's not too difficult to kind of look at when it comes to simple types of things you can do. But it takes a lot of effort and willpower to be able to do it. It's not something that comes easy. But we talk about that. And the other thing you have to kind of realize, and so this will be one of our next ones, but besides having the memory, now you have the imagination for the future. And this is the other aspect that comes into play as well, because what you're doing, in a sense, what you're doing is playing movies in your mind. You're playing movies in your mind, and you're trying to say, okay, what is the newest movie that we have? And then when it comes to pornography, that's really what you're talking about. You're creating your own movie, of course, because you're going to go then get excited and release and those type of things. And so you're trying to kind of navigate things in your own brain, and you have that playback ability as a memory, and you also have that imagination and going forward. So the bottom line really is, you look at this, you have to try to say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and control better the things that I'm seeing in my mind. And so I can control that better by going back to the pictures you're creating with your goals and allowing yourself to become better strong with that. So I think it's a very fascinating type of thing. So when we talk about letting things go, we're talking about moving away from this current idea you have. And obviously the idea starts with the negative premise that this temptation is not good for you. The temptation is going to lead you down the wrong path and lead you into something that you shouldn't be doing. And so once you do that, now you're focusing on trying to move to a different type of idea. And that idea is going to be something you're looking at to focus on a better type of idea and more constructive things that you want to do. So that's why we talk about letting things go. And that's not only a physical type of thing you're talking about, but also a mental and spiritual thing. You need to kind of let all these negative type attitudes go. We make a mistake. Okay, fine. Let's take it out of our minds. Now, it's going to be always there in some way, but you have to kind of realize that the more you focus on something else, the less you're going to focus on these issues, or the less chance you have in this. This is the issue I think a lot of people have when they fall into temptation. They get very bored, or they don't have a lot of things to do. And because they don't have a lot of things to do, now they're falling back on past memories, or they use their imagination for the future, and they're letting things bother them and obviously lead to those type of things. And let's face it, these type of things we're talking about are exciting things, because there's always a chance that you may get caught. This is what I think sin is very tempting to people, because there's always that idea that, oh, maybe I'll get caught, or this is really exciting types of things, or maybe something will happen to me. And and this is why people do a lot of crazy stuff like bungee jumping and things like that, driving motorcycles real fast. The adrenaline, because you never know what's going to happen to you, and it's not boring. This is what it really comes down to in my mind, is that people get bored. And when people don't have goals and ideas and things they can shoot for, and they have a passion about, they become bored, and it's very easy to get involved in a lot of negative things. Like, for example, gambling. Everything is bet on a toss of a wheel, right? Or a slot machine, or playing a deck of cards. And, and you gamble. The lottery is another one of those things. You're gambling against something, and people get excited about this, whether or not they're losing their souls, they lose their heads, or whatever they want to call it. They're losing. They don't care about that. They care about the fact that they're getting adrenaline. Now, they won't say that. They probably won't even recognize it for the most part, because people just don't see things that way. But they do know that it's something that makes them feel excited. And the same thing happens with pornography, right? Oh, this is a forbidden type of thing to look at, and so people do it because they want to test things and see what happens to them. They don't realize that they've lost their soul, and it's very difficult unless you forgive yourself to Jesus that you're going to get that back. You're not going to get that back once you lose your soul, because you just don't have that pattern. You don't believe in God. You don't have that pattern. This is what happens with a lot of people who get caught into all this sin and nonsense that people get into because they're excited, or they want to kind of get pleasure of some sort. And really, what is pleasure, my friends? Pleasure basically is that absence of discipline that you have when people say, okay, I'm going to try to do something that I shouldn't be doing. I know I shouldn't be doing it, but I'm going to do it anyway. And this gets you in a load of problems. Now, a person who is at peace doesn't need to do any of that stuff, because they're getting enjoyment out of just getting up every day and enjoying things. I have not felt more enjoyment in my life than I have over the last, I'd say 100 days or so. And I think it takes a little time for us to get into that pattern with all the retention and journey. But as you take your journey longer, you're going to feel that peace, serenity. Now, there's things, obviously I got upset yesterday, so you're still going to get times when you're going to get upset and drain some of your energy. But your life overall, because you're retaining, is more and more positive. All right? And I think this is the whole key to it, that your life is becoming a lot more peaceful and serene, and you don't need a lot of these things that the world says you need. And I think that's why the Bible is correct when it talks about that, eventually you have to not live for the world, but live for Jesus and live for, the good of the Lord and God. And if you do those type of things, all of a sudden, now you become a lot more peaceful and serene. You don't need to spend your money on, gambling or women or men or whatever, if you're a man or a woman. You don't need to spend your money on those type of things. You don't need to spend your money on looking at pornography and trying to, feel guilty about that kind of stuff, because you feel guilty because you know that it's not right, and you know that you should be, living a different type of life. And I know I felt like that for years, So when you look at this, I think the whole key, my friends, is to realize how important it is to be able to kind of just focus on something else going on. Focus on a goal. Focus on something that can get you more constructive types of results than what you're doing by losing energy. You're just kind of wasting your energy away, wasting yourself away. And so this is why I say letting yourself go and being able to go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to move ahead. And this is what changing your mind means. Changing your mind. Going ahead and saying, I'm going to direct my thoughts in a different way. All right, because the sun is my eyes, my friends, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great day. Hope you guys have a great day. This is May 16, 2022. And we'll see you next time. Battle on, my friends. Battle on. God bless you.